for this one. This is a long-time, very intense rivalry. The Eagles have won 4 in a row on the road. Cowboys are the only unbeaten team in the NFL with their record of 6-0. And the level of intensity here is just about as high as you could possibly imagine. Tony Franklin will kick off for the Eagles. Rod Hill back deep for the Cowboys, and he has been doing an excellent job. Ron Fellows back there with him. Perfect day in Texas, very warm, 84 degrees. And Franklin, who played at Texas A&M, will start the action. Rod Hill from the 8. Outran the blockers. The Eagle coverage is excellent. And the Cowboys will start to operate from about their own 17. Let's check the starting lineup. Dallas won the toss, received. Danny White opens at quarterback. Tony Dorsett and Ron Springs, the runners, and Butch Johnson starting at wide receiver. Drew Pearson on the other side, as usual. Up front, a new left tackle is Phil Pozderac as Pat Donovan is injured. Herbert Scott, the left guard. Rafferty, Peterson, Cooper, and Cosby up front. The Eagles play a 3-man line front on defense, and we'll check out their alignment in just a minute. Pearson and Johnson both split wide to the right. Danny White gives off to Ron Springs, who had a great week last week against Tampa Bay. Jerry Robbins made the stop, and let's look at that Philadelphia defense. Up front, 3 guys doing good jobs. Harrison, Clark, and Hairston. 4 fast, mobile linebackers. Wilkes, Robinson, Griggs, and Joel Williams. Secondary, Roynell Young, Edwards, Logan, and the rookie from SMU, Wes Hopkins. He'll hit you. 2nd and 6. Cowboys operating from their own 21. Rafferty is the center. He got hurt a couple of weeks ago. Springs is out. Dorsett's a lone setback. They run that familiar counter. Dorsett gets around the corner. Gets it. Dallas first down. Hopkins plugged him out of bounds. Seen that play a few times, John. That is the final score, by the way. San Francisco 32. New Orleans Saints 13. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden. And that counter play, they've gotten a lot of mileage out of.
Well, they have, and that's the thing that concerns Marion Campbell is not only that counter play, but the run specifically, because he wants to use that 7-man defensive backfield, and to do that, you have to stop the run on 1st and 2nd down.
Cowboys quick count. Dorsett behind Scott around the corner for about 6. Herbert Scott with a good block. Anthony Griggs knocked him out of bounds.
Marion Campbell was saying that the thing about Dorsett is on 1st down, he averages 4.5 yards per carry. He said, we would like to keep him to about 2.5. That was a 1st down play, and he gained 7 yards on it. So that's about 3 times what he wants.
And so that dictates what kind of defense he can use. Ron Springs and Dorsett now set up deep. Dorsett about 9 yards behind the center. Rafferty. White. Chased. Gets rid of it. On purpose. Nobody open. Let's look at the rush. Carl Hairston was the man who got there.
Of course, we see it right down here. We see the rush, the pit's in there, the guy's fighting, hands out, pretty good blocking there, but it breaks down. The reason it breaks down right at the end, he was trying to throw the ball out here to Butch Johnson. Butch Johnson was covered well by Herman Edwards.
And now the Eagles can and do make that defensive adjustment. Those of you who watched the 49ers beat New Orleans 32-13, welcome to Texas Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. We just started. Score is 0-0. Springs, Dallas first down from White. Outside the 40-42, 7-yard gain.
Here we look at Ron Springs there. We see he's already caught 31 passes, 256 yards, 8.3. You know, you think of the fullback, think of some big blocks, run short yardage and stuff. With the Cowboy offense, Ron Springs is as much a receiver as he is a runner or blocker.
And just to illustrate that point, if something happened to Cosby and Billy Joe Dupree, he is their 3rd tight end as well as their starting fullback. Here's White. Springs. Reggie Wilkes knocked him out of bounds along with Randy Logan.
Of course, he lines up in a lot of different places. You see him on that time. Again, most of the time, the fullback lines up right behind the quarterback. He's way out here on the right side. He's lined up here as a wide receiver out to the right. We see Danny White just 3 steps, boom, hits it out there right now to Ron Springs. He was lined up like a flanker, one of those split end guys.
That'll make it 2nd and 1. Now look where Springs is lined up. Like a flanker. Here's Dorsett ducking and darting for a Cowboy first down. Gets into Eagle territory. Joel Williams on the tackle. Nobody can see more, I think, and pick a hole better than Dorsett did.
And he doesn't like that one back in the backfield. He said that's nice for teams that have fullbacks like John Riggins. He said, I like that other back in there with me. He kind of helps blocks for me, and they can't all key on. You know, when you only have one back, there's only one guy to key on. Dorsett can draw a crowd.
The other back sort of gives you a little screen to duck behind once in a while. First down, White will throw. Looking left, has Dorsett. Dorsett has some room. And he wheels it down deeper into Eagle territory, down to about their 37. Drew Pearson, good block. 14 yards.
There's Tom Landry sending in Herbert Scott. He still calls the plays with the guards. Herbert Scott and Howard Richards exchange every play. In the play from Tom Landry to Danny White.
And Dorsett gets a break now, and Timmy Newsome, who scored that critical, crucial touchdown last week to tie the game and send it into overtime, replaces him at tailback, and he is ever improving. Newsome. 5 perhaps before Herman Edwards has to make the tackle. Newsome weighs about 235.
Yeah, well, of course, he used to be a fullback. Tom Landry switched him back to tailback, and in fact, he left camp when he did it, and then he decided to come back. But it's that same counter play. Watch this. He'll start to the right. Now, the Eagle defense is so aggressive that they start to that way. They start that way, and then he cuts right back and comes back to the other side and picks up about 5 yards before Jerry Robinson gets there.
Ball's at the Eagle 27, 2nd and 5. The 9th play of this drive coming up. Dorsett is back. Flag is down. Dorsett looking for someplace to go. Finds it. Still goes. Could go all the way. Dorsett to the 1. About half-yard line west. Hopkins finally took him down, but that penalty marker went down very early.
Did you see the referee? He's saying, hey, that's against the Cowboys. That touchdown doesn't count. You could tell by the look on his face that that wasn't a touchdown. I'll tell you, it was still a great run by Tony Dorsett.
It really was. Jerry Seaman is the referee. Dorsett gets another rest, and Newsome comes back in. And as great as Dorsett is, they don't lose a lot with Newsome in there.
Illegal motion, number 65, offense.
Kurt Peterson, who has done really an outstanding job for the Cowboys, was the culprit in that case.
Probably the strongest man on the Cowboy team, and moved a little early. You know, those offensive linemen, that's about the only time they ever get mentioned, when they move early or hold.
2nd and 10 from the 32. White on the draw to Newsome. Timmy Newsome, Dallas first down at the Eagles 15. Joel Williams tripped him up. Newsome got 16.
Watch this draw now. It was a draw trap. It's a little delay. Watch the right guard here. Kurt Peterson, the guy was just calling play. He sets up like pass. Then he comes across and traps right here to make the hole for Newsome. Now watch your right guard. He starts up, pass. See, it's a pass now. Boom. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to trap right there. And Carl Hairston, he makes the block that frees Timmy Newsome.
Good block, too.
Back has a penalty, then makes a big block.
1st and 10 from the Eagles 16. Newsome again. This time not that much. Down to about the 13. Reggie Wilkes made the hit. Well, the Cowboys, as we've mentioned, and I'm sure you know, in their 6 victories, every time they've had to come from behind, and it looks like that they have made up their minds that that's not going to be the case this week.
And of course, that's concerned the Cowboys and Tom Landry. You know, we're looking at their scoring by quarters. They don't do much in the first quarter. They're heavy scoring in the second quarter and in the fourth quarter.
Newsom got 2. It'll make it 2nd and 8 from the 14-yard line of Philadelphia. No score yet. White stumble coming out in the direction of Billy Joe Dupree. It hit the upright, bounced into the stands, and they'll have to regroup. Here's what John Madden was talking about.
Look at this. The Cowboys in the first period have only scored 17 points. Now, that's their problem. See, they start slowly. Then in the second quarter, they pick it up a little, 57. Go back down in the third quarter to 38. And then in the fourth quarter, they pick it up with 63. But that's their problem, that first quarter. And Tom Landry said it's just inconsistency. He said, we move the ball. Doggone it, something always stops us, and it's usually our own mistakes.
Now they go with 5 wide receivers, including Donnelly, and now Springs goes in motion. A lot of targets out of the end zone. Drew Pearson, the intended receiver. We'll see Raphael Septien.
That's the thing about the Cowboys, you know, and it's a thing that concerns them. They move the ball, and then something stops them. They get bogged down, and they have to go for the field goal, or they don't score anything.
Septien from this range is perfect. Glenn Carano will hold from 31 yards out. You had a little joust with him yesterday.
A little wrestling match. I thought kickers ought to grapple in the ground and get dirty.
I think you scared him.
Not enough to make him miss a kick.
It was pretty good. Again, I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden, and this series over the years, John, has been a very, very intense one.
Well, you know, it was interesting. Marion Campbell was saying, you know, that this is one of those games where you don't have to say to the players, hey, please, let's get ready. They know what it is, and they're always ready for the Cowboys.
Of course, the last game that the Cowboys lost here at Texas Stadium was last year after the strike when the Eagles beat them, and there's still a lot of bitter feeling about that victory.
Well, you know, and Tom Landry is saying that our biggest problem, we're 6-0, and it's a great record. He said, but the biggest problem is we create those holes for ourselves. It's not the other team. We do it ourselves. He said, we have to get more consistent offensively.
And so they got 3 points on their first drive. They kept the ball a long time. They looked very well organized and very confident about what they were doing. That's the story of that drive. 14 plays. They kept the ball 5 minutes, 4 seconds. There is the Swamp Fox, Marion Campbell, doing a good job as a head coach with the Philadelphia Eagles. He, of course, had been the head man in Atlanta once before. Septien's kick goes to Glenn Young at the goal line. And Glenn Young is barreled, bounced, and buried backwards. Let's go for an NFL update to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat, you'll love this one, being an old kicker. Watch Eddie Murray now. Hipple set the hole for Detroit. He kicks up over the top. It's a fake, and watch Hipple roll in. I mean, no one knew that was coming. It's 31-17. Let's go back to Pat.
They never let me do that. 31-17.
Little fake throw it to the kicker, huh?
No. First down, Philadelphia. Ron Jaworski, the quarterback. We'll check out the rest of the offensive unit in just a minute. Mike Williams now is the tailback, and Jaworski will go to work on first down, going deep for Quick. He's got Mike Quick, and Mike Quick will not be caught. Dennis Thurman just had to watch it all go by. But boy, is he quick.
What a way to start a game offensively. There's no need to start it, run that back up the middle and stuff and get warmed up. Ron Jaworski said, I had enough time in the sideline. Let's air that thing out in the first play. Watson, one back in the backfield. Quick is out here to the left. Thurman's man-to-man. He's running a little post pattern up inside Thurman. He's just too fast for Dennis Thurman. You know what I wonder, though? Thurman should have a little help on that from the weak safety, Michael Downs.
They were blitzing. That's
right.
What happened to him. Tony Franklin with Jaworski holding. Jaworski threw that ball before he even really got set. He just let it go early. Quick went under, and he can get that done. Franklin drills it. Things do happen quickly with Quick.
I'll tell you, he's really been something for this team. Let's watch this. We'll see the blitz coming here, and we see the rush. We see a free guy. Oh, there's too tall Jones coming right at the end. Ron Jaworski just got that ball off.
Just laid it over the top. Tony Franklin will kick off. New England 37, San Diego 21. That's a final. That's a surprise. There's another bit of a surprise. Atlanta 7, the Rams nothing. First quarter.
That's getting to be some division out there, Western division. Of course, the 49ers beat the Saints today, and the Rams and the Saints and the 49ers were all tied at 4-2 for first place.
That makes the 49ers now 5-2. The Falcons leading the Rams. The Saints will be 4-3. Kick is deep. It'll be Fellows at the 2. Fellows with some room. Tripped up just as he started a break. Major Everett was the man who got the foot of Fellows. Minnesota 34, Houston 14. Things don't get any better in Houston. Minnesota continues to be amazing. The Los Angeles Raiders 7, Seattle nothing. That's first quarter. That game started at the same time this one did. Danny White, the quarterback, he's been under fire here, in spite of the fact that they're 6-0.
Well, I'll tell you, he's had a lot of interceptions, and the fans don't like the interceptions. The teammates don't like the interceptions. The coach doesn't, and most of all, Danny White doesn't like that. And the thing you worry about with interceptions is confidence in a quarterback, that he doesn't lose his confidence.
Pearson in motion. Fake handoff to Dorsett. The reverse to Springs. Scott in front. Springs gets out to about the 30. Anthony Griggs played that one very well. Joel Williams made the stop.
He did play it very well. You know, that's the thing with the reverse. You always try and get the flow going one way and then hand it off back away from the flow. But Griggs started that way, and he wasn't fooled. He was able to get back and make the play.
That'll make it 2nd down and 6. Cowboys operating from their own 30 with the Eagles leading 7-3. Dorsett. To the 34, shy of a first down by about 3. Roynell Young made the tackle. Philadelphia 7, Dallas 3. The Cowboys kept the ball over 5 minutes, got out of it with a field goal. The Eagles used one play, and they lead.
I'll tell you, that Mike Quick is amazing, isn't he? Last year was his first year with the Eagles, and he was used as the extra wide receiver. This year he's a starter, and he's leading the NFC in yardage gain.
Welcome to those of you who watched Detroit beat Chicago. Jimmy Newsom down the sideline here at Texas Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden, where the Eagles lead the Cowboys 7-3. We're still in the first quarter. The Eagles have run one play, a touchdown. From Jaworski to Mike Quick. Quick had 2 touchdowns last week against the Giants for Philadelphia. And he is some athlete.
I'll tell you, he is. And Tom Landry made an interesting statement yesterday. He said that the Eagles lost Wilbert Montgomery. And he said if they didn't have Mike Quick, they'd be out of it. But Mike Quick has taken the place as a threat of Wilbert Montgomery.
You don't really think about the wide receiver taking the place of such a running back, but that's so true. Dorsett ducks to the 46. Ken Clark made the stop. For those of you who did just join us, here is the touchdown. Jaworski to Quick. The Eagles only play from scrimmage.
So first play, Jaworski's watching Quick all the way. He's running a post pattern. He just runs right by Dennis Thurman. Michael Downs, the weak safety, was held up in the middle for some reason, and Quick ran right by them both.
Second down, Dallas, and 9 from their own 46. Cosby was the man in motion. White is the man who tried to throw. And he has Cosby right in that big Texas star, right in the middle of the field. Not enough for first. Griggs and Williams on the stop. Some of the other final scores starting to come in now. There's one, Minnesota 34, Houston 14. Those Vikings, as I said before, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they are, and they usually do it. Probably in that game was some kind of block kick that flopped around the field. Some defensive lineman picked it up and lateraled it to a linebacker who scored.
Something like
They
that.
always do that.
As you know, I'm sure that Eddie Biles resigned as the head coach of the Houston Oilers last week. Dallas operating from the shotgun now. The Springs in motion. White looking downfield. Into the pocket, throws. Springs was the intended target. Roydell Young was the defender, and this will be a Dallas punt coming up. Let's look at Springs.
Here we'll see him. He lines up on the right side, goes in motion on the left. He's going to run up and then try and run an in pattern. He really doesn't do a very good job of running a pattern there, and the ball was thrown over his head, but he was well covered.
Anthony Griggs again doing a good job on defense. John Warren is the Dallas punter. Rafferty will center. Check the hang time.
Well, they want 4 or 5.
They got it out of bounds at about the 17. It certainly didn't get 4 or 5. Just the ball spiraled but didn't turn over. 32-yard punt. No return, so the net is 32 yards as the Eagles lead Dallas 7-3 on the pass from Jaworski to Mike Quick. Pat Summerall, John Madden. That's the situation at Texas Stadium. 1st and 10. Ball at the Philadelphia 17. Time remaining 6:15 first quarter. Eagles 7. Cowboys 3. Cowboys in that familiar flex defense. We saw him move just at the last second. Maybe he doesn't move too quick, but there are no flags. Here goes Jaworski for Quick. This time, everybody was in the right place, and they throw a penalty flag. Dennis Thurman, Michael Downs, everybody back there with Quick this time. Randy White put some pressure on Jaworski. And let's go back and look at that play one more time.
Something you can sure tell what the Eagles want to do today. They're going to pass deep against this Cowboy defense. Tom Landry saying that's not very comfortable when they have 2 plays and 2 long passes. One, of course, complete for a touchdown, and this one here was going to involve a penalty.
There was no interference on the play.
Well, I think that's a very legitimate call. He had no chance to catch that ball. The flag was down because there was contact. Well, here it is.
Well, we'll see it here. Again, it's the same type of pattern. He's going to run a post in there. He starts up, then in towards the goalpost. There's Dennis Thurman. Now, what the official is saying, that there was interference there, but the ball was thrown over Quick's head, and he wouldn't have had a chance to catch it. Let's watch the pressure here. Here's Randy White working in the middle. Now watch, he gets knocked down, does a seat roll, right up in Jaworski's face as he throws the ball. A nice little roll. Looks like one of those wrestling type things.
Very quick roll. So that'll make it 2nd and 10, 6:09 left first quarter. Eagles still operating from their 17. Downs up, faking blitz. Not a fake. Dutton wraps up Mike Williams. Now, things have been happening so quickly we haven't had a chance to tell you who's playing for the Eagles. Jaworski, you know, is the quarterback. Mike Williams replacing Montgomery as the tailback. Hubert Oliver, the fullback. Carmichael and Quick. A couple of tough threats, wide receivers. Walters, Kenny, Morris, Baker, Sizemore, and Vito Cab as the tight end. There's some great matchups up front, which we'll be following throughout the day. 3rd and 9. 5.5 minutes left to play first quarter. Jaworski now operates from the Eagles shotgun. Guy Morris, the center. Jaworski just has to fire, get rid of it. Looking for quick. But the Cowboys applied the heat, and Jaworski wisely threw that one away.
Now, you see, the tough problem is here, you see Morris not only has to center that ball through his legs, but then he had to get to the right and get a block on Randy White. And it looked like the dike broke on that play.
Anthony Dickerson on a blitz. They moved Randy White to left defensive tackle and put Smerrick at right defensive tackle. A lot of looks.
How'd you like to be the center, though? He has to snap that ball and then step to his right and pick up Randy White. It's a lot of bad news there.
Tom Splitani, the Eagle punter. Rock Hill. Darby was the man down quickly, number 94, 36-yard punt by Spadani. A 1-yard return, so the net is 35. And Marion Campbell would like to have just a little bit more than that. Philadelphia 7, Dallas 3. We're still in the first quarter. Yeah. Philadelphia 7, Dallas 3, first quarter with 5:06 left to play. First down 10 for the Cowboys, their own 46. The Eagles leading 7-3. 83 yards from Jaworski to Mike Quick on the Eagles' very first play. White. Johnson, the intended receiver, couldn't find a handle. NFL update time, and let's take you to Brent Musburger back in New York.
The Pat and John Bartkowski continues to hold the hot hand for Atlanta, and here's his young receiver, Stacey Bailey. That was the touchdown they put on the board, so they still lead the Rams by 7. Let's go back to Pat and John.
Danny White is 5 out of 10. Harvey Armstrong has replaced Clark as the nose tackle, a position that Marion Campbell holds with great respect. We'll tell you more about that in a minute. Dorsett on the Dallas counter behind Cooper. Gets outside, sets him up, and Dorsett wheels into Philadelphia territory. Wes Hopkins knocked him out of bounds. Blocked by Howard Richards.
Let's watch it from the end zone now. We'll see the nose tackle. He makes Harvey Armstrong, he makes a move to the left, goes around the center, but there's no way, if you don't have someone from the outside coming up to stop Dorsett, there's no way he can get there. You know, the interesting thing about the nose tackle is they switch him every third series. Ken Clark plays 2 series at nose tackle, then Harvey Armstrong plays a series. Said one guy just can't play that position.
There's just too much going on. Says you get hit every play, you get hit from every direction every play. White back to Dorsett again. Oh, this is Springs, I'm sorry. And Springs hops out of the grasp of Richie Wilkes, and he gets more out of that than probably he deserved. Pittsburgh 44, Cleveland 17. The Browns have never won in Pittsburgh at that new stadium. Buffalo 30, Baltimore 7. By the way, that Pittsburgh score was a final, just been told. Denver 7, Cincinnati nothing. Bengals having all kinds of problems. Raiders have tied Seattle 7-7. Here at 2nd and 8 at Texas Stadium, with Philadelphia leading Dallas 7-3. This time, Butch hangs on. Herman Edwards, the defender. Johnson just got his body between him and the defender, between the ball and the defender, and there was nothing Edwards could do.
Let's watch it here. Butch Johnson's the outside guy. Now look, he has to come off the line, sell Herman Edwards that you're going deep, then he just stops and does that little hook in front of him. Let's watch a blocking that a nose tackle gets. Tom Rafferty's the center here. Nose tackle has to get up there. He's in, boom. So he hits into Rafferty, then the right guard comes by him, then here comes a back in there. He can't see a thing. He just has guys bumping into him all the time.
No wonder he makes those changes. White, outside Pearson. defender. That is 45 games in a row in which Drew Pearson has caught a pass.
Well, of course, they see that the Eagle corner is off. You see how deep Roynell Young is here. So they know that now Pearson can come up about 3 or 4 yards, just run a quick out, and Roynell Young, because he was so deep, there's no way that he can get there to do anything about it. Now, that's a good call on first down, see, because they picked up about 9 yards on that play.
So it's second down now with 3:18 left to play in the first quarter with Philadelphia leading 7-3. Here's Dorsett. He cuts down to about maybe the 10, enough for a first down. Randy Logan tripped him up.
Dorsett is so tough to play against because you never get a hit on him. You know, he's always darting and moving and sliding and gliding and falling and all those types of things. He does have good eyes, as you said.
Great.
You know, he was saying yesterday, he said, I have a broken wrist, I have a cast on my wrist, I have bad ribs, I have a rib pad, I have a bad thigh. He said, if I ever got well, I'd probably be a mental case. That's true.
First down, Cowboys. Ball at the 11. That's Cosby in motion. Penalty markers go down. Cooper has left the Dallas lineup with some sort of physical problem. Posderick has moved over to right tackle, and Howard Richards has moved to left tackle, which changes that whole offensive concept.
It sure does, and that was the guy that jumped off sides. It was Howard Richards, the left tackle, who jumped off sides. See, now because he has to play left tackle, he was calling the plays with Herbert Scott.
Ball start, number 70, offense.
Watch Doug Cosby will come in motion. Now watch number 70 there. He'll just get a little too anxious. I'm playing tackle for the first time, he said. I want to tie into that Carl Hairston. Doggone it, you got to wait, Howard, until that ball's snapped.
The problem with Cooper, by the way, is that he has a strained foot. There is a possibility he could come back. But right now it's Posderick at tackle and Richards at left tackle. White. Cosby struggling for the end zone. Didn't quite get there, but made a great effort.
Tell you, Doug Cosby's not only a big target in there, he's 6'6", but once he catches that ball, he has the strength to drag a bunch of guys around for a while with him. See him on that play, he's pretty good. You know, now he has an injury too. He has a bad groin that they say is part of his hip. It's on the front part of his leg, and he said he can play, he can run, but he just has trouble pushing off it or cutting off that. But he looked pretty good on that play.
He looked very strong. He said yesterday when we were talking to him that he couldn't push, but it looks like he could then, didn't it?
He pushed some people in the end zone. He had some guys hanging on him, and he took them for a while. That's a first down, too.
First and goal from about a foot out. Dallas has 10 first downs. The Eagles have 1.
Watch Cosby. Oh, that was a great catch, too. Now watch him drag. One guy, here comes another guy. He drags him. And I'll tell you, the rule, of course, for a touchdown is the ball has to break the plane. You see where the ball is? There's the football. The football has to break the plane. Boom. Yeah, right down there, close enough to the first down. You have to score from here.
Pretty good effort by Cosby. About time for Springs. Touchdown. Springs.
Yeah, good call, Coach. You said it's about time for Springs, and here comes Springs. Watch this from the ground level. Now here's Howard Richards. He's playing tight end on that play on the strong side. So Howard Richards leads the blocking on that side. He played left guard, left tackle, and tight end.
That's one of the things about those Dallas offensive linemen. Most of them can play 2 or 3, all the positions that injury situations require. Septien for the extra point, and the Cowboys now lead 10-7. Seaman indicating that it's good. We have a minute 1:34 left in the first quarter. 54 yards. The Cowboys went to recapture the lead. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys have just taken the lead over Philadelphia by the score of 10-7. Raphael Septien will kick off. Ron Springs scored a touchdown. To the 22.
Let's watch that touchdown again. Let's watch the guy. He's a defensive tackle right here, Harvey Armstrong. We're talking about the nose tackle, but just watch all the hits that guy takes down here. It starts off with a double team, then he gets pushed in here, just all kinds of bodies flying in, and he's the point of attack. Watch the ball snap. Here comes the guard on him, the center, the off guard. There's about 3 guys hitting him. And then here comes the ball carrier. Boom, just pushes that whole pile right on its back. Woo. Goal line defense and goal line offense.
A minute 45 left first quarter. Quick goes in motion. Cowboys blitz quickly. The Eagles had it red. Michael Downs, who came. Mike Williams was the ball carrier for an NFL update. Right now, let's go to Bryn Musburger back in our New York studio.
Pat, the Cleveland Browns turned the ball over 7 times against Pittsburgh today. All 7 resulted in scores, 2 of them directly, including this interception. The Steelers have run 4 interceptions back for touchdowns in their last 2 games. Back to Pat and John.
Right here, it's Dallas 10, Philadelphia 7 with a minute 11 left first quarter. Lone setback is Williams. No flag. Outside pass intended for Quick. Thurman, the defender.
Of course, they'd gone to Quick deep the first play, and then they try it again. Now watch, here's Quick right on the right-hand side of the screen. Just up 3 steps. Jaworski's going to give him that quick shot out there. He knows Dennis Thurman's coming. The ball was a little high on the outside, but he should have caught that ball. But things happen so quick. There you go, boom, 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 whap, and it's there. There's Mick Campbell. He's the head coach, but he still works with the defense. He was talking to the Eagle defense there.
Well, his offensive unit's on the field, and he's not even looking. He's got his back to him.
Old defensive linemen, they don't look at that stuff.
Here's Jaworski. Randy White right in his face. Quick. Intended receiver again. It's Thurman. And Everson Walls back there with him. They made an adjustment of some sort. And here comes the Eagle punting unit. Watch the pressure by White.
Here's Randy White right here. Now watch the pressure that he puts on Jaworski. When you start him, he's there. He's working on Steve Kenny. He's working on Guy Morris. Double team. Get him down, a little hold there, boom, bounce right back up, and right in Jaworski's face as he throws that ball. The tough thing about that is when the guy's in his face, he can't step up.
He's got that big ham arm in his face, too. He just clubbed him down that time.
Big ham, about the size of a leg.
Here's Sladany. Rod Hill back deep. It's a better kick by Sladany. Hill looking for the sun. Takes it at his own 28. Got 1 block. So far, no flag. Eagles do a good job, though. They got a very good block. Byron Darby one more time down to cover. The good block was by Baldinger. 45-yard punt, 1-yard return, a 44-yard net. The Fox will accept that. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium. 84 degrees when the game began. 10-7 Dallas. 47 seconds left to play in the first quarter. To Spring. Spring running well. Gets out to about the 39 and flags go down. Anthony Griggs was the tackler. Let's see what the violation is. Personal foul. You know, John, the game has gotten so complicated and so specialized, it's almost more than you can keep up with.
Now, the funny thing was what Tom Landry said, it's so specialized now. He said all you can do is put out fires. He said you can't work on everything.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 48, defense, first down.
Wes Hopkins
Wes Hopkins is right here, right on the right-hand side of the screen, 48. He's the weak safety. Now, it's probably a late hit, but there was a good block by Rafferty. Now, watch that. You see he's down, and he comes in and puts that late hit right on the head of Ron Springs.
Hopkins played at SMU. He's a rookie, and he's a good player. This is Dorsett by Cooper. Dorsett makes a great cut. And another penalty marker goes down. Boy, there's an ability you cannot, no matter how long you're in this business, you know you can't coach that.
Now, that's natural. And most of those things, like those running, those instincts, you're born with those types of things. There's a penalty now against the Cowboys, so they just got a 15-yard penalty, and now they'll lose 15 yards.
That's a clip or an illegal block from behind, or whatever you want to call it.
I think that one was a clip. The illegal block from behind is usually in the kicking game. In the running game, it's usually the old-fashioned clip, you know.
Personal foul, clipping, number 88, offense.
That's the old-fashioned clip, 15 yards.
Penalty against Drew Pearson, number 88, who's closing in on Boyd Dowler as far as all-time career records are concerned. He needed 5 catches today to catch Dowler. He's got one already. This is Springs on the draw. Jerry Robinson knocked him out of bounds. 10 yards for Springs. He's running better than he has in a couple of years.
Well, I think he's getting the ball more now. You know, the Cowboys at one time, when they ran the ball, it was always Tony Dorsett right, Dorsett left, Dorsett up the middle and bounce out. Now they seem to be giving the ball to Ron Springs more. They seem to be using Timmy Newsome more to substitute for Dorsett. And it's not always one guy always running. They're using 3 now to run the ball.
Springs caught 11 passes last week. Offensive plays. Take a look at that. Time of possession. Cowboys lead is 10-7. White. On his back. Almost came up with the rebound. Hopkins almost had an interception. Cosby had a chance to catch it. He's upset with himself.
Third down, 11.
Big target.
I'll tell you, he is, and that's the guy that they always look for in the middle. You know, with all these zone defenses and double zones and the guys going to the outside and kicking out, you always want to work your tight end in the middle. And when he's a big guy, he's a heck of a target. Watch him. He's right in the middle. He's right perfectly in the middle of the field, right between the hash marks. He had that ball. He tipped it. Hopkins darn near had it going the other way.
And Cosby, as it came down the second time, almost came up with it again. Third down, 11. Automatic call by White. You heard him yelling, black, black. Pass picked off. Elbert fouls. Now they say no. And now maybe. He was down. Yes, it is an interception.
I think the reason the whistle blew is they said that Fowles was down right there, but Drew Pearson doesn't run a good pattern here. Once you start in, you have to go square. He's gaining a little ground. See him gain ground there? He lets Fowles have that interception angle. The whistle blew because they said Fowles was down there.
And the Eagles have the ball. In 2 weeks, the NBA returns to CBS with a game that'll mark the beginning of an era, the Ralph Sampson era. Sampson, a 3-time College Player of the Year at Virginia, will make his NBA debut for the Houston Rockets against Artis Gilmore and the San Antonio Spurs. So be sure to join us Saturday, October 29th at 3:45 Eastern Time for all the action.
I wonder if he'll have the impact in basketball that rookie Eric Dickerson has had in football this year.
If he does, it'll be a very successful year. Dickerson did something. Jaworski quickly outside, looking for quickly.
Well, they're trying that other side with Quick now. You know, they started early. Of course, the first play was from Quick on the left side. He ran a post for a touchdown on Dennis Thurman. Now they put him on the right side to see what he can do against Everson Walls. That's an interesting matchup.
That really is.
Michael Quick and Everson Walls. I don't think I can remember a corner as confident as Everson Walls.
Well, we'll have a chance to look at it again because Walls is out there by himself, and now he's going to get help from Dexter Clinkscale. Carmichael is on Thurman on the left side. Jaworski looking for Quick. Picked off by Everson Walls. Baker made the tackle, but Walls is amazing how he comes up with that ball.
I'll tell you, he is. You know, he's out here. He wants that ball thrown to Michael Quick. Look, look. He's playing Quick here. He's looking back at the quarterback. Now watch him. Right here, he'll cut underneath. Look, he cuts in front. I'll tell you, this guy has the greatest hands of any defensive backs that I've ever seen. That's why he gets those interceptions.
Cowboys take over. On Madden at Texas Stadium. Everson Walls just picked off a run. Jaworski passed. He has thrown 75 in a row without an interception. That broke his streak and extends Everson Walls' streak. White. Looked to the outside first at Drew Pearson and then missed Doug Cosby.
Let's watch that interception again. We see two things here. We talk about double coverage. Here's Walls here. Now, the reason that he can cut in here aggressively is because he has Dexter Clinkscale here. So, Jaworski, you don't want to throw into double coverage, but that's the reason that Walls can come underneath, see? Because he knows they have him sandwiched. He knows Clinkscale is behind him, so he can cut in front.
Everson Walls has intercepted Ron Jaworski's first pass, as I said, in 75 attempts. Dorsett is the lone setback for the Cowboys, and that Springs started in motion. White, got to go quick. Does go quick to Springs. Springs landed on his head after being hit by Bernard Wilson.
You know, Bernard Wilson, of course, was beaten out this year by Wes Hopkins. He had injuries in preseason, and Hopkins has played so well at that free safety position that they let him stay as a starter. And one thing that they say with the Eagles is since they lost Bill Berge, they hadn't really had an enforcer in their defense. And they figure that Hopkins is that type of guy.
Hopkins is 6'1" and 208 and just a rookie. He's one of those guys that they feel can play 10 years. He will put the helmet on you. White from the shotgun, looks outside, has Duck Donnelly. Butch Johnson, I'm sorry. Enough for a first down.
That's Carl Hairston down. It looks like his left shoulder that he's grabbing there. Of course, I've always felt that Carl Hairston is one of the best defensive ends in this league. You know, it's tough to be a pass rusher as a three-man line end. You see, here he comes right here, down at the bottom of the picture. You see, he gets hit right there by the second guy. That was Herb Scott coming across.
Pretty tough to get a very effective pass rush from three men, but the Eagles do it. Dallas 10, Philadelphia 7. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The Cowboys have 13 first downs. The Eagles have 1. That was on the touchdown.
And, of course, the time of possession, it seems like it's been the Cowboy offense out there all day with the Eagle defense. And that's the thing that starts to show in the second half, because an offense can wear down a defense. And when a defense is on the field that long, you get that many shots at them, something bad usually happens in the fourth quarter.
I remember very well you saying that 2 weeks ago up at Minnesota. The Vikings were leading at the half, but that defensive unit had been out there an awful long time, and you said that's going to wear them down. And Dallas won the game, of course, 37-24. Carl Hairston will be back, I'll bet you.
I would too. I would take your side on that bet. There's Greg Brown, number 98. He replaces him. Now, he was a free agent. The guy, remember, he went to Kansas State, played there as a freshman, and quit football, and he was in construction in Washington, D.C., and they found him on a street. They right off the street and put him in a uniform.
Found him in a hard hat. Different kind of hard hat. Here's Dorsett wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, and there is a penalty flag thrown back close to the line of scrimmage. Randy Logan was up there quickly.
That's the way you have to stop the Cowboy running. You know, last week the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did a good job of that. They always seem to have someone in the Cowboy offensive backfield. You have to get penetration.
Well, the Buccaneers did a good job of that last week.
Look at big Dennis Harrison's given that sign. You notice that? Those defensive linemen, they don't know all the signs the officials make, but the one they do know is holding. And they walk around like that a lot going, look, hey, look at this one right here.
Holding, number 65, offense, penalty declined.
They declined the penalty. By the way, Ronell Young was shaken up a few plays ago, and he is expected to return as soon as the cobwebs go away. Second and 13, 13:38 left to play in the first half. Cowboys ball at the Eagle 36. Dallas leading 10-7. Draw play. And Dorsett gets hit by Anthony Griggs. It looked like he had some room for a minute, but he just couldn't shake it. Some of the other scores. Atlanta 14, the Rams 7. The Giants 7, Kansas City 3, second quarter in Kansas City. Cincinnati and Denver 7-7, second quarter. The Raiders 10, Seattle 7, second quarter. It's 3rd and 11 here. Dorsett strolls over to the sideline. His place taken by various wide receivers and by Timmy Newsom. Bernard Wilson tackled him. Dallas first down. 19-yard gain.
Let's look at this defense. You know, the Eagles use that 7 defensive back. They play 5 underneath. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They play these guys underneath tight. Then they still have 3 deep left here. But the Cowboys have it figured out. Watch this. They find Cosby in the middle. This is a new concept here. 3-7. 3-1-7. Look at all those defensive backs covering, but he finds the guy right here, right there in the middle, who was man-to-man, Doug Cosby.
And it's first down, Dallas at the Philadelphia 15. That was Cosby who went in motion. This is Dorsett with the ball behind Kirk Peterson, and he doesn't get much done. Ken Clark came to make the stop. If you look at Tom Landry, let's take you to Brent Musburger in New York for an NFL update.
Pat, you gave the score 14-7, but here's how the Rams got the touchdown, and you know who. Eric Dickerson. This is his 11th on the season. Let's go back to Pat and John.
Back at Texas Stadium, it's 10-7, Cowboys leading. Second down and 9. The ball at the Philadelphia 14. 11:25 left to play first half. You saw what they've been able to do with Dorsett on first down, which is something they set out to do. Springs wide to the left this time. White looking wide to the right this time. Drew Pearson had it and lost it. Bernard Wilson back there with him.
Well, we're talking about Roynell Young being out of the game now, so Bernard Wilson has to play that left corner position. See, right at the end here, he's covering Drew Pearson man-to-man in the end zone. That's a pretty good play for an X-free safety. That corner's tough, man. That's like being on an island out there all by yourself. Those guys are lonely. They talk to each other. Herman Edwards says no one likes them. No one talks to them.
They talk to each other, but there's nobody else there.
That's right. Or they get spread out over way out there wide. That is a lonely feeling.
On the shotgun, the up-close Dallas shotgun. They rush 4 defenders this time. Cosby, Dallas touchdown. Tell you what, for a guy who can't push off, he's having a pretty good day.
Well, he's just wandering around in that middle down there. What they're doing is, again, it's against that 7 defensive backs. You see Cosby there, Springs inside him. Look, he's just working right there against Bernard Wilson. Now has him. just comes down, but he did uncover, didn't he? That's the thing. Tom Landry told us this guy right here, Doug Cosby, is better at uncovering than anyone has ever seen. What he means is he gets covered, then he gets away from it.
Which is just what he did.
He said yesterday he couldn't do it. He's fibbing.
Cowboys 17 now. The Eagles 7 as Septien hits out of Toronto's hole. There's Doug Cosby. He looks a lot healthier than he did yesterday.
Touchdowns do that.
11:05 left to play first half. Cowboys about to kick off at 17-7. That's the story of their scoring drive. 9 plays. 3:55 they kept it after the interception by Wall. Septien line drive. Sailed. Hit that pylon, it appeared.
It's out of bounds, so of course that'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Kickoff, hit the pylon. That is a touchback.
That means they go back to the 30.
Right.
Kick it again.
Let's watch this when we're talking about uncovering. See, Cosby was here running a hook inside. Here's the defender, so he stops and turns back out, and that's how he catches the pass. See, look, he's covered here on the inside, so he turns back to the outside and then gets the ball for the touchdown. That's uncovering. That's pretty good. I like that term.
That uncovering?
That uncovering. Of course, they don't have to kick off again here.
No,
now.
they don't. Now they
It's
go
in the
back
end
to
zone. The ball hit the pylon, which is in the end zone. Consequently, we have a touchback.
Now that pylon doesn't look like it's in the end zone to me.
Well, I guess the pylon, if the ball hits the pylon, I guess that's in the field of play. So then they say that the ball did go into the end zone. Looked like it was going out of bounds down there.
That's what I thought.
But by hitting the pylon, I guess that makes it a touchback. So the Eagles start on the 20-yard line.
We get new words every week.
Hitting the pylon.
Pylon's got into the football.
1 knee equals 2 feet. 1 pylon equals an end zone. That sounds good.
First and 10 from the 20. There's Williams. Young running back. John Dutton made the stop, and that quieted the crowd down considerably.
I think that's the first time that Michael Williams has carried the ball today.
And that's their first down since that touchdown play.
Let's watch it. It's out of the formation. See, it's a little counter thing. That's the Dallas Cowboy play. The tailback starts to the right. They pull the off tackle. He comes across some traps, and he comes back that way.
First down, Philadelphia. U.B. Oliver, the lone setback. He just got a good block on that last play for Williams. This is Oliver, the ball carrier. The influence play, and Oliver gets out near the 40-yard line before Michael Downs can bring him down. Injured Cowboy is Dexter Clinkscale. Bill Bates comes in to replace him. Dexter being administered to. Tom Landry said yesterday his defensive backs have to make a lot of tackles. Maybe one too many. The NCAA today begins our coverage of college football next week. Texas 5-0 against SMU 5-0. In fact, Mustangs haven't lost a game since Texas beat them 2 years ago.
Let's see why there was a big hole there in that Cowboy. Now, usually the guy who makes the play on the run is the middle linebacker, Bob Bruning. He's going to come up here in a blitz. Now, watch the block right here on Dutton, too. See, now, there's Bruning. He comes up. He gets turned. Now, watch right there. Ron Baker will take Dutton to the inside. Look at that hole in there. And Clinkscale has to come up, make the play, and gets a knee in the head.
Clinkscale walked off under his own power. Seems to be okay. There he is.
Well, the Cowboys don't do that much. Blitz that middle linebacker in their form of that flex defense. He's usually free. But when he blitzes, then they block Dutton in. Now Clinkscale had that hole. He had to support and force in that 4-hole between the guard and the tackle.
And Bill Pace has taken his place. He'll get into the pile for him.
There's Bill Bates, number 40. I'll guarantee you we're going to see him flying around there. He's always looking for a place to hit someone. Watch him. He's right here, 40. He sees it's a run. He says, I want a piece of that. Where is it? Where's that ball carrier? I'll hit my own guy. Let me push. Yeah. Where's a green shirt? Those are the guys that, they have that old saying and cliche, they come to play, they love it, and all those things. That's Bill Bates.
You watch the coaches when they're out warming up or in practice, and they stay about 5 yards away from Bates.
Some of those guys that like to hit, they'll hit anything.
Oh, yeah.
Coaches,
Stadiums,
players, golf balls.
First down, Philadelphia. Bates is taking a vacation, and Clinchgale has recovered from that Hubie Oliver knee, and he's back at his safety spot. Dallas 17, Philadelphia 7. Eagles have won 4 on the road this year. Cowboys have won everything. Carmichael shake almost took away from Everson Wall. Everson did manage to trip him up. That was almost 6.
Oh, and Carmichael is upset. He knew that if he could just have gotten one of those feet loose from Wall, look at him. Got it. It would have been a big play down that sideline. I don't know what Walls had a hold of here on Carmichael, but it wasn't much. With Harold Carmichael at 6'8", there's a lot to grab. Walls was going to grab something down there around that ankle. Look, right there, because if I could have just gotten that right leg out of there, I'd still be running.
Just shaking that loose, he'd have had some more yardage, no question about it. A lot more. On second down, Jaworski gives to Williams. Ed Too-Tall Jones is right there with Harvey Martin. Cowboys have played a strong defensive year against the rush, but not so much against the pass.
Jones and Dustin have all built a tackle at the 60-yard line. Will be third down and 1.
Eagles, of course, the number 1 defensive unit in the NFC, number 1 against rush. It'll be third and 1 with 8:20 left to play first half. Ball is at midfield. Dallas up by 10 points. Close. John Dutton on the bottom of the stack.
This will be one of those right foot, left foot deals. You see that guy that marked it, he has to come running in from the sideline. He has to run about 25 yards before he puts a foot down to say where it is. I didn't see whether it was a right foot or a left foot.
I didn't either. They were blocking us out. They're going to bring in the sticks, I think. Looks like it might be a little bit short.
Yeah, it does look short. Usually when the quarterback stands up there, he knows it's short, too. And the Eagles will punt.
Somebody asked Landry, hey, what's going to happen to this team? The way you've been winning, you can't keep going like that. And he said, why not?
Yeah. It's been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Might break up a good deal.
Spladany is back to punt, and Rod Hill is back deep for the Cowboys, standing about his own 11. Hill at the 10. Hops out of bounds at about the 14. Ray Ellis is down there for the Eagles. 40-yard punt, 4-yard return, 36 yards net. As you look at the Dallas bench and Randy White and his defensive companions. 17-7, the Cowboys over the Eagles. At Summerall with John Madden at Texas Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles 17-7. And we have 7.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Butch Johnson and Drew Pearson both stacked up on the right side, and now here comes Drew in motion. And off is to Dorsett, looking for some room to the outside, and not much doing there. Richie Wilkes was the first man to hit him.
I'll tell you, the way Dennis Harrison plays the run so strong on that left side of the Eagle defense, big number 68 there, you're never going to get a lot of good running there. You know, watch how strong he is here. If we can see him on the right-hand side of the screen. He takes on Kurt Peterson, see, helmet to helmet, whoop, whap, and then he's right down the field, up to the backfield, and Dorsett has no place to go.
That's that key you were talking about, up into the backfield.
That's right. He controlled the tackle, then right up to the outside of it.
Second and 9. They hand quickly to Springs. Springs out past the 20. Dennis Harrison made the stop. Big foot.
I'll tell you, probably of the defensive ends in the league, as we watch him right here, he's probably as strong against the run as any of them. Watch here. Now, what happens here is Cooper's trying to block him low, but he doesn't let him get to his legs. Plays off him, holds up the hole right there.
There's an interesting observation as you look at number 68 that his coach, Marion Campbell, said yesterday he's a big, tall guy, but he doesn't have long legs.
That's interesting because most of his height comes from his waist up.
From the shotgun is White. Cowboys are 4 out of 7 from that formation. Here's Cosby again. Cosby lunges for the first down. Bernard Wilson was the Eagle defensive back draped around that 6'6" frame.
He Cosby says, I'm okay, I'm just tired. And he points, hey, let someone come in here and take a couple here from it. Now what they're doing, the Eagles have that 3-1-7, 7 defensive backs. When they do that, the guy they play man-to-man is Cosby. So what the Cowboys are doing every time in that long yardage situation is working Doug Cosby man-to-man in the middle against number 22, Bernard Wilson.
Cosby did indicate that he was tired. He seems to be okay. His place has been taken by Philly Joe Dupree. That's Dupree in motion. This is Dorsett in motion. He just did a little shoulder move that should be at the ballet right there. He didn't do much with it after he got the move accomplished, but
well, you know, he concerned Coach Marion Campbell so much on first down. He said, in first down situations, you know, they have computers for all this stuff, so they know all this stuff. On first down, Dorsett, when he runs, averages 4.5. Now, he said, we'd like to keep him to about 2.5, but look what they're doing. He's 2 points per carry on first down.
Second down at 7. Brooks Johnson was open. Bernard Wilson and Wes Hopkins were back there with him. Danny White just couldn't quite get it to him.
It's a double coverage. You know, we see up here, we see Wilson. Now, he's going to bump him and come off. Then Hopkins is going to be deep. What the Cowboys are trying to do is throw it between the two. They do it pretty well. It was just a little outstretched for Butch Johnson. But Butch Johnson couldn't outstretch enough, or Danny White outstretched him too much. One of those deals.
Incomplete. Third and 7. 4.5 minutes left to play first half. Ball's at the Dallas 29. Lead by 10. Good protection. Butch can hang on. Randy Logan, the defender, knocked him down, but Johnson comes up with a first down. Good throw by White, 11 yards.
That was an interesting play because on that situation against that 3-1-7 again, they'd been working Cosby in the middle. That time they ran Cosby deep as a decoy, and then they brought Butch Johnson underneath. Let's see if we can see it right here. They bring Cosby deep, and they just bring Butch Johnson across the middle. Now watch him now. It's been Cosby in the middle, but watch John come from the outside right there. They cleared out for him.
And now we come back live with a screen pass to Dupree, and Dupree gets into Eagle territory. Down to the 47, a 12-yard gain. The tight end screen. They operated with 2 tight ends that time. Joe looked pretty spry on that run,
I'll tell you, you sure did. Marion Campbell was saying last night that the best thing that the Cowboys do, in fact, they do it better than anyone in football, is run a screen. There it is out to Dupree. Boom, good block. He cuts off it. Big guy rambling right down the field, knows where to go, right up towards the goal post.
He said that one of the things that concerned him, and you've seen a pretty good illustration of it, is that they can hit you from so many areas all across the field.
And so many people.
So many people. Eagles on a blitz. Dupree. Another Dallas first down at the 32. Jerry Robinson made the stop. White did a good job. Hanging in there against the pressure.
Well, it's the same thing. What the Cowboys are doing here is they're clearing out with their wide receivers, running them down up the field, then they're bringing their tight end on ins and outs in the middle of the field. It's been Doug Crosby, and the last couple have been Billy Joe Dupree. Bunch of players. There's Butch Johnson. You see, he's getting a double coverage right there. And then that brings in, there's another double coverage there. That's a triple coverage there. And that allows Dupree to come underneath him. Double coverage, triple coverage.
2 minutes to go in the first half as the Cowboys are on the move again. They lead by 10 points, 17-7 over Philadelphia. Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium. Don't forget at the half, the NFL today with scores and highlights from Brent Musburger and Herb Strauss. Many surprises today. Both teams here, by the way, the Eagles and the Cowboys, have all three of their timeouts left. Danny White is 16 out of 26 for 176 yards, 179 yards. One touchdown to Cosby and the one interception. Before, there's been a lot of concern, I guess is better word than criticism, about Danny White's play here at the helm of the Cowboys. And he said, frankly, I'm just tired of it. I'm throwing the ball as well as I've ever thrown it. Look at the first down situation. Reverse Springs. And Springs is a left-handed thrower. Springs to Johnson almost. The pass at the end.
And the interesting thing about it is that it was run from the left side, you know, because Ryan is the left-handed thrower.
That looked like the same play that Robert Newhouse hit Golden Richards in Super Bowl against Denver.
Let's watch the effect here. First of all, we're going to get a fake to the right, then a reverse to the left. Now watch Butch Johnson. He started in, back out. Herman Everett does a good job of covering because he gets there and is able to knock that ball out right at the end.
Just got a piece of it right at the end. Right. Second down, 10. The 32, draw play to Newsom. You heard the Eagle defender perhaps yelling, draw, draw. There's always somebody there who yells that.
It's usually the guy in the middle who never rushes the quarterback. He's the guy who's the traffic cop type thing and said, I'll take the screen, the draw, and hang around the middle, and the rest of you guys rush and stuff.
Dallas is 7 out of 10 on third down.
Look at that guy holding there for Septian. Look at all the gear he has on. He must be a electrician or something.
No, he's a
trainer.
Assistant equipment man.
I know, but he looks like an electrician, too. Maybe he does both. He got stuff hanging out of his pocket.
Look like Snyder. White has Newsom, and he comes up with a catch, and then he lost it. It's incomplete. Almost a spectacular catch by Jimmy Newsom. Dennis DeVaughn was the defender back there with him, and Newsom almost came up with it. The impact of him hitting the ground is what caused it to jar loose.
That was a heck of a throw, too, by Danny White. I mean, that thing, he has a couple steps on DeVaughn right there, but you know what he did wrong? he left his feet. You know, you always teach receivers, don't dive for the ball, run through it. I think the greatest that I ever had at that was Fred Biletnikoff. He'd never leave his feet. He would run through everything. It looked like Newsom stopped. When you stop to dive, you lose the speed.
Septien from 46 yards out. Morano holding. Juggled it. Septien got it nevertheless. Well, I'd still say the same thing. If you asked me 2 weeks ago if I had to pick a kicker, I'd take him. The preceding message was brought to you by Randy White and by the National Football League. Raphael Septien with 520 points. The Cowboys' all-time leading scorer. Major effort thank you to the Eagles. Line drive kickoff. Didn't quite get to the pylon that time. That's Ray Ellis. Ellis hit down by Jim Jeffcoat, this year's #1 draft choice for Dallas. Bill Bates also involved, as you would expect. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited.
Hey, the Eagles have only had the ball six minutes in this whole first half, and the Cowboys have had it over 22 minutes.
That's tough on defense. 50 seconds left to play in the first half with Dallas leading 20-7 now. Jaworski out of the shotgun. Under pressure. Look out. Harvey Martin around the corner. Randy White up the middle.
Let's watch this now. Now we'll see the Cowboy line. There's no flex there. They're all up in there. They're going to run a stunt. Smirek starts one way, White starts the other way. Two talls in front, and Harvey Martin was in the back. That's covering it from the middle and both sides.
That'd be like throwing out of the Lincoln Tunnel.
If the tunnel were upside down, they're standing up.
2nd and 10 with 47 seconds left to go. Jaworski again out of the shotgun. Cowboys showed a blitz, backed off. Here comes the pressure again. It's too tall. And down they go. White and Jones make Jaworski's life miserable. Smirek also involved in the rush.
You know, it's funny on Two-Tall, we haven't heard much from him, but watch him. He's right here. He's just going to take the move on Sizemore. We haven't heard much from Two-Tall all day, but I'll tell you, when it starts to come, there he goes. You see the move? He gets that left arm up, right arm over, and he's right there and grabs Jaworski's arm. Hey, when they get ready to pass rush, that Two-Tall Jones and Harvey Martin can still do a job.
Notice early in that rush how he flailed his arms to keep Sizemore's hands off of him.
That's a big thing that they try and do. You know, they try and keep those hands off and then grab something. He grabbed with his left arm and then took his right arm and threw it over Sizemore's shoulder. That's called a swim technique.
Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today, one more time with scores and highlights from Brent Musburger and Irv Cross from our studios, the NFL Today studios back in New York. And you're right, John. When they can lay them back and go on a pass rush, they can do it. Wes Hopkins, by the way, just to amplify a little bit more on his injury, has a pulled hamstring. And it's very uncertain whether or not he'll be able to return or not. And the Eagles now have a couple of defensive backs hurt, and they could be hurting in that area.
Look at the way the Cowboys do that. The linemen stay up in the line by themselves, and look at all those defensive backs. They stay close together back there. They come up. The linemen, they don't know what's going on back there. They don't want to get together with those guys. These guys back there said, hey, we got to cover all these receivers. Keep an eye on Mike Quick, they're saying.
3rd and 14, 41 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas 20, Eagles 7.
watch this. Smirrick just lines up right here. He's going to be right here. Now watch the move that he makes. It's right here, right over him, right into Jaworski. Didn't have a chance. Ron Smirrick is one of the strongest guys on this Cowboys defense. Look, right there. He goes right by Ron Baker. Oh, that had hurt Jaworski.
He used that swing technique also to get rid of Baker.
And it didn't take him long to use it. I mean, he got him right now and got by him. The tough thing when a guard is beaten and that guy's coming right up the middle at you.
Dallas just took a timeout, so they have 2 remaining.
You know what I would love to see? There's a rule in the NFL, the free kick rule. And it could come into play right here. And if Dallas fair catches, after the fair catch, they could have a free kick. Septien could come in and kick right from the spot of the fair catch.
With no rush.
With no rush. They have to give him 10 yards. I would love to see that thing. I don't know if it doesn't look like Tom Landry's thinking about it because he's talking to Danny White. If Tom were thinking about it, he'd be talking to Raphael Septien.
I think there's too much time left. 37 seconds. They got time to use those 2 timeouts and maybe get down closer to Septien. But if there were less time left, I think there's a good chance he might. You know he knows that he's aware of that possibility. Good pick by Slavini. Forget about what we're talking about. It chases Rod Hill all the way back to the 37. Hill gets back to the Dallas 49. Goes out of bounds, knocked out by Vito Cab.
Was that Tom Landry taking a little hit over there? Yeah, Tom took it on, did he? I wonder if he broke down. You know, I've been watching that baseball stuff, that World Series, you know, and managers always wear those baseball uniforms. Heck, they don't play. I was thinking, what happened if they did that? If they said, hey, that's a good rule. Football coaches ought to do that. Can you see Tom Landry? He'd probably be 19, number 19. Mike Ditka, he'd tape up.
Yeah.
Aaron Campbell, be 78, shirt tail hanging out.
And they'd be glad to see somebody come out of bounds.
With football coaches in football uniforms.
1st and 10. Cowboys 20, Eagles 7. 26 seconds left to play. First half. White going for more. A lot of time. Intended for Springs. Anthony Griggs was right there with him. White was looking deep early. Couldn't find anybody. 20 seconds to go first half. Clock stopped.
You know, Tom Landry's calling this one with the ball around midfield. What they would like to do is get at least 15 yards, or maybe 20, and that would put it right within Septien's range.
That's Dick Nolan over there on the sideline. Al Lavin, Jim Myers, Levan it is. I'm sorry, it's not Lavin. 2nd and 10 for Danny White from the shotgun. Eagles. Harvey head over heels at the 25. Dennis DeVaughn tripped him up. 26-yard pickup.
That's the same thing they've been doing the whole first half against that 3-1-7. They're working the middle, the big tight end. Let's watch it here. Cosby will come from the left. He'll come right up. Danny White's looking. He sees Cosby right there. Hits him now. He's the guy with man-on-man coverage. He beats the man-on-man coverage and gets the big first down that now the Cowboys have their field goal range. Cosby's having a heck of a day. The way he was talking yesterday,
I think
he didn't even know if he was going to play. He said, I need some time off.
6 catches, 84 yards, the touchdown. I tell you, I have to give tribute too, John, to the Dallas offensive line because protection was picture perfect.
Protection has been good all day for the Cowboys, and you know we talked about that time of possession and saying that it may show up in the 4th quarter. I think it's showing up here in the 2nd quarter. I think the Eagle defense is a little worn down right now.
And with the injuries they've had to those secondary people, they lost Hopkins. They lost a couple of more.
Roynell Young.
Got people playing in strange places. Not that they aren't good athletes, but when you get into a situation you're not used to, that makes it even more difficult.
Plus, they're having a lot of shots taken out.
And when you think about the roster limitations, you can't go to that defense he likes so much with the 7 defensive backs. That's about all they got.
same types of things.
Danny White's shotgun efficiency from which he operates right now. Batted away. It's batted away again. And who comes up with it but Rafferty? Rafferty gets down inside the 20 to the 17. Tom Rafferty snapped it and got the rebound and carried it.
That's something for an old center, isn't it? He had to snap it, then he had to block for a while, then he had to catch it, then he had to run with it and have a bunch of guys jump on him. Watch him here. He was trying to hit Doug Crosby in the middle again. The same type of thing. It's the same defense. Look, he's going right there. The ball is tipped. I watch it tipped instead of going straight up by Jerry Robinson. It's tipped back, then it's jump ball, bounced out to Rafferty. He's just a center. He's hanging around there. Ball comes in his hands. He said, I'll take it a while.
Give some credit, too, to Ron Springs, who was the other Cowboy who batted it away from Robinson in the direction.
He batted away out to Rafferty.
Atlanta 14, the Rams 7, third quarter. Giants 14, Kansas City 10, halftime. Cincinnati 10-10 with Denver, halftime. Raiders 17-7 over Seattle. Septien from 34, 35 yards out. He's hit 2 already. He's hit another one. Dallas 23. Eagles 7. At the half, Cowboys did have to come from behind at one time, but they seem to have taken command in the first half here. Brett Musburger and Irv Cross coming up after this. At Texas Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles 23-7 at the half. Both of the teams have come back on the field. One more time to tell you, I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden. I haven't seen too many surprises. I think after the Cowboys went 6-0 and had to come from behind in every victory so far until now, they sort of went into this week with a little added determination, don't you?
Well, I think they did. All the players were telling us yesterday that this was the most intense week of practice that they've had.
What about the Eagles situation now? Number one, they've got some people hurt in the secondary. We don't know yet whether they'll be back or not. What do they have to do to get back in this football game?
I think the interesting thing is, as Marion Campbell was saying, that what they want to do is they wanted to stop the Cowboys on first down so that they could put their 3-1-7 defense in, make them pass into that. They've done that. They've stopped the Cowboys on first down, but they've had a lot of success passing on them. The Cowboys haven't, and it's all been to the tight ends. It's all been the same type of thing.
Tight ends? Why particularly Dupree and Cosby?
Because what happened is they're doubling everyone else. They're doubling to the outside. The deep guys who are helping are too deep, and they're hitting in front of them. So what's happened here in the first half is that the tight ends against that defense have caught 8 passes. Doug Crosby's caught 6. Billy Joe Dupree 2. So I think what the Eagles have to do in that defense is they have to get that tight end covered.
Well, we'll see if they can accomplish that or not, as the Cowboys will kick off to begin the second half. Raphael Septien, who had the outstanding first half with his 3 field goals, responsible for a lot of the Cowboys' margin. He will kick it off. Major Everett goes back deep for Philadelphia. I don't know what happened to Glenn Young. The Eagles have suffered in the secondary. They've got some key secondary people injured. Hopkins, Roydell Young. And that's going to put a crimp in what they can do if those 2 guys can't come back. Another half of football to go as the Cowboys lead 23-7 over Philadelphia. Hot when the game started, about 85 degrees. Now it's cooled down a little bit as the sun has started to dip. Here comes Septien. Harry Harrington brought it out. Angelo King made the stop along with help from Bruce Hutton. Just to keep you up to date now on what's going on in the World Series, the Orioles 4-0 over the Phillies. The end of 3.5. We'll keep you up to date on what's what's going on, as the Orioles could end it all today. First down, Eagles. Their own 27. First play from scrimmage of the second half. Back to Williams. Randy White. Tom Landry said he's been playing awfully well.
Well, he got the game ball the last 2 weeks. You can see why on this play. Watch, he's stepping up here. He's going to take on the guard right here, slip him right here. Just throw him off with his left hand, get the right hand inside, and flatten out right down the line of scrimmage, and then put the finishing touches on that deal. That's the play. You know, when they call a manster, half man and half monster, that's the type of play they're talking about.
Right. He's not as big as he was last year in terms of weight, but he is in strength. To Williams again. 3 or 4, Randy White, Harvey Martin. Again, both of them out there.
I'll tell you, Randy White in those last 2 plays has really done a job on Steve Kenny. The first play, he took him on, threw him off. Here, watch him from the end zone. He's 54 right there. Now, he'll start into Kenny. Watch, he gets his both hands on his shoulder back. Hold him right there, work right down the line, Bring him in to meet Dickerson. Boom! Put the finishing touches again.
Really? 3rd and 6. Ball at the 31. Jaworski goes back. Shotgun. Cowboys have their pass defending setup. Jaworski really didn't have much time as Too Tall Jones put the heat on him that time.
That's the thing. You know, Too Tall was coming in, and he had to throw over him. Let's watch the rush from the middle. Let's watch Randy White, Big John Dutton in there inside. Randy White's lining up over the center. Guy Morris on that play. Said they're not going to get him this time. Guy Morris says, I got you down, and you're going to stay down till that ball's thrown. But they didn't get Too Tall Jones down.
Jaworski 2 out of 10 now. Skladany back to kick for the Eagles. Rod Hill back deep for Dallas. At the 45, into the garbage can, into the fence. Tears up 2 telephones and 5 boxes of Gatorade. 18 yards on the return by Rod Hill. It was a 40-yard punt by Skladany. Good move right here.
Rod Hill, he starts up to the middle. He sees all those green jerseys and said, I'm going to bounce it out, run out here to the outside. There aren't any guys out there. Here comes one now, so I'll just run out of bounds. Rod Hill does that a little. He'll run out of bounds on those punt returns. I think, as a matter of fact, I think he's run every one of them out of bounds today.
All but one. This can be dangerous out of bounds, too.
Especially if you have Gatorade and telephones and benches and people and wires and stuff down there.
17-10 Giants over Kansas City, 3rd quarter. Pearson. Midfield. Roy Nell Young back. Knocked him out of bounds. See what's happening to the Rams in Seattle. Bad things. I'm sorry, the Raiders at Seattle. Seattle 21, the Raiders 17. Seattle coming back. The Seahawks under Chuck Knox have become fairly formidable.
I'll tell you, the Raiders have always had a tough time up there in Seattle, in that kingdom. And they don't play. They have to play in natural surroundings. You get artificial carpet indoors and roofs and stuff, they can't play.
Mostly natural guys. 2nd and 5. This is Springs barreling for a Cowboy first down inside the Eagle 45. Reggie Wilkes tripped him up. Herbert Scott coming in with a play from Coach Landry.
You know, when Herbert Scott comes in with a play, or Howard Richards, they just bring in an abbreviated form of the play. Then Danny White has to put the whole thing together, the formation, the pass pattern, or the run blocking, the snap count, all those types of things.
1st and 10 Dallas.
also has a move where he'll start and stop. And on that one, he gave a little start and stop, double clutch type stuff. Watch this one. I formation. He's the only back there. All eyes are on him. Linebackers, see the linebackers flowing, coming up. Look, he stops right here. Now he said, well, I'm going to go again. Take off. Little move there. He breaks through. You got to get your arms around that guy and right up the field. You see that? He was stopped. He just gave a complete stop. They tackle him fine. If they don't, he say, hey, I got a little more room to go here.
That's Clark, who almost had him stopped, almost had him down. Cowboys first down. Balls at the Eagle 12. Off spring to the 6. Bernard Wilson made the tackle.
I really think that effect of the first half, when the Cowboys had the ball so long, so many plays, so many first downs, that it really does have an effect. I think that the Eagle defense, even though it's just the start of the third quarter, I think they're a tired group already, a little beaten down.
They just keep looking into that Dallas offensive huddle and say, we've done this a lot already. Second down and 5. Dorsett spins in, touchdown.
Dorsett's first touchdown of the year. But I think those things happen when the defense does get a little tired. The Eagles showing signs of it now because in the last couple plays, they're missing tackles.
Raphael Septien to attempt the extra point. Cowboys 29, Eagles 7. Trying to make it even 30. And Raphael does. Do show 55 yards, 5 plays, a minute 44. Dorsett, 15 carries for 82 yards, and the Cowboys lead 30-7. Dallas 30, Philadelphia 7. Pat Summerall with John Madden. We've just begun the second half. Time of possession is remarkable, isn't it?
That's the thing. You know, it's not all the defense's fault. The offense has to get something going. I'm talking about the Eagle offense to keep the defense off the field.
Major Everett scoops up the ball, tries to get around the corner, is cut down by Everson Wall.
Let's watch the touchdown and the job that Kurt Peterson, the guard, does here. He's going to pull across here and lead up here and make a block right in here. Dorsett loves to follow his guard. Watch how he does it. Now, you know those guards, you never talk about them too much, but see Peterson come up there and the block right there. Dorsett makes that move right off that block and into the end zone.
Hey, what, those two guys on the left side, Derek and Herbert Scott, did some job. They just caved everything.
They cleaned it out. The off guard came across and led through, and it was a perfect play.
Jaworski will have to throw on first down. The Cowboys put the pressure on. Carmichael comes up with the Eagle first down. Walls and down. Takes his 6'8" Harold Carmichael down. Orioles 4-0 over the Phillies after 4. They could be the champions after today. Jaworski is 3 out of 11. Eddie Murray, by the way, has hit 2 home runs in that game, coming out of his slump. Oliver. To the 44, maybe 45. Dexter Clinkscale had to make the tackle, or did make the tackle.
I bet that was an influence play on that one. I bet the guard pulled because they did something to open up that right side. Let's see if we can just see there on the left offensive side. Nope, they just blocked Danny White in. Hubert Oliver went right through.
Second down, Eagles, and 3. 1:05 left, third quarter. Cowboys looking like they might flip. Williams, Eagle first down. Just short of midfield. Let's check a couple of the other scores. Hegman and Martin made the tackle. Atlanta leading the Rams 21-14 now, third quarter. Cincinnati and Denver tied 17 all, third quarter. This is the kind of thing that the Eagles have got to get going out there. If things aren't already out of reach, they got to keep the ball a while. First down at their own 49. Got a man wide open is Williams, the tailback. He is down to the Dallas 22. Leaps to that point before he's tripped by Dexter Clinkscale. Gain of 29. Not over yet by any means.
Let's watch Michael Williams now. Now he's going to come through in a delay. You see, he starts from the left. Everyone else goes deep. He comes right into the middle, and there was no one cover him until Dexter Clinkscale gets there.
Eagles out of the huddle quickly this time. First and 10. 8.5 minutes left, third quarter. Williams. Dickerson cut him down. For an NFL update, let's go back here at Texas Stadium. It's 2nd and 6 for the Eagles at the Dallas 18. Kickoff in the end zone in a very casual fashion by Dennis Thurman. Nobody there.
That had to be a mix-up there because there was no one running a pattern to that corner. Ron Jaworski had to be thinking one thing, and his receiver was thinking the other thing.
I think it was intended for quick, but I'm not sure.
We see it here from the end zone. He just lost it right up there for that corner of the end zone, and there's not a green jersey in the whole thing. Harold Carmichael's the closest one, but he was coming from the offside.
So the Cowboys will take over. Let's see if we can figure out what happened.
Watch this. Here comes Carmichael. He's coming to the inside. Look, Quick runs a sideline there, and it looked like Jaworski probably thought Quick was going to be in the end zone.
So Dallas takes over at their own 20. They lead 30-7. Matt Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium. The last 4 Dallas possessions have resulted in 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's not bad. They lead 30-7 over Philadelphia. 7.5 minutes left, third period. Pitch is back to Spring. Joel Williams. And now the other 2 Eagle linebackers, Robinson and Griggs and everybody out there. Those last 4 possessions I was just talking about, they started at the 46, the 14, the 49, the 45. You can see the number of plays they ran and the results they got. You win a lot of games with performance like that. 2nd and 9.
Well, it's a performance, I think, that also shows some consistency in the offense. I know in all the talks with the players and coaches, they're always worried mostly about their offensive consistency.
Tony Dorsett wheels out for another Dallas first down outside the 30. Good block by Bill Pozderick.
Watch this now. Here, now watch Tony Dorsett here. See, it's a little counter move. He moves to the right. He's going to follow his right tackle in here, Jim Cooper. Now watch, he waits for him, and then when he sees that hole, just boom, he just puts it on right up the field. Looks like he may have hurt that right wrist again. You know, he's wearing a soft cast on there, a cast of silicone caulk.
Soft silicone caulk.
to him and call all kinds of words.
This is Ron Springs. He gets to the outside and gets out to about the 37 before he's knocked down by Bernard Wilson.
Doctors say, wait, you got a bad arm there? Yeah, well, we'll put a little silicone on there. Caulk it up. Caulk up your wrist.
I got to try that. Second and 6. 5.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Cowboys 30, Eagles 7. Newsom has replaced Dorsett. Newsom takes the handoff, and Newsom rambles to midfield into Eagle territory before Bernard Wilson makes the stop, and Newsom gets up gingerly.
Looks like Timmy Newsom has learned some of that stuff from Tony Dorsett. Watch how he controls his speed there. Starts off in the I formation. That was a missed play. That play was supposed to go to the left. You see that? It was supposed to go to the left. He took the ball, and he just waited and hesitated, saw a big hole, just ran right up the middle with it.
When things are going right, they go right, and they stay right. Tough day for Philadelphia. The Orioles 5, the Phillies nothing. White to Newsom. Newsom nudges this time for a couple, not much more than that. Anthony Griggs made the stop. We might start seeing Hogaboom in just a few minutes if it continues to operate like this. Dorsett comes back, Newsom goes out.
The old thing about the Cowboys is Tony Dorsett is a great running back, but they sure don't baby him.
No.
I mean, they let him have one play off and throw him get right back in there. They're ahead 30-7. I'll tell you, he's a tough guy. He really is a tough guy.
Let's see if he still is. I really can't find too much fault with that, though, can you? That they don't baby him, the fact that you're talking about?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that you have a 30-7 lead, you may give him a few more breathers, but you're right. That's what you're paying him for, to play, and he does it, and he does it as well or better than anyone.
3rd and 8. 3:16 left, third quarter. Cowboys 30, Eagles 7. Then now Danny White goes back in the shotgun formation. The room, a target. Drew Pearson scrambled to the ground at about the 31-yard line by Ronell Young and Randy Logan. But a Dallas first down. A good throw by White.
Danny White, a good throw. The story of this game has really been the Cowboys' success on that shotgun and third down and being able to throw against the Eagle pass defense. And it's been the tight end the whole first half. Here they run the tight end deep. They bring Butch Johnson in underneath on a hook. Excuse me, that's Drew Pearson in on a hook. And then he gets a big first down for it. But you notice there's been different guys, but they're still working that inside, that middle area. Has been different guys, hasn't it?
How about the bottom one?
Well, the old center, he finally got one. They deserve one once in a while.
Yeah.
Just snap it, grumble around in there in the line with that nose tackle all day.
Here's the reverse again, and Springs, who threw that left-handed pass before, got the bounce. Anthony Griggs wasn't fooled. 1:55 left, third quarter here. Let's again take you to Brent Musburger in New York. All right, Brent, the score here is Dallas 30, the Eagles 7. The Eagles have won all 4 of their contests on the road. This year, the Cowboys have won wherever they play. 2nd and 13. White looking over that Philadelphia defense. They've been on that field a long time. Screen pass called and a perfect call. Springs. Inside the 20 to the 17. Gary Robinson tripped him up. They had that at the right time, didn't they?
I'll tell you, Danny White really set up that Eagle defense. He looked out to his wide receiver on the right, make the Eagle defense think he's throwing outside, and then he throws that screen up the middle. this is a thing of beauty, the way it develops. Watch here. Those fake Springs will fake the block there, hand in. Now watch when he gets the ball. There's three guys up in front of him, led by Rafferty. He gets the block there. Springs just gets by that. But that is a perfect screen. The back, three guys in front of you, motoring right down the field.
30 seconds left, third quarter. Cowboys on the move one more time. White gives to Springs. Springs cuts inside the 15 to about the 30-yard line. Pickup of 3.
I still think old Danny White was trying to set him up on that when he was talking out there to his right, you know, and pointing out there, and everyone's saying, hey, they're going to the outside guy. They're going to throw deep in the end zone. And he throws in the middle on a screen.
You mean you think he would be guilty of doing something deceptive?
Heck yeah, so would that other guy with the hat.
That's the end of the third quarter. Dallas leads Philadelphia 30-7 at the end of 3. Pat Summerall and John Madden back at Texas Stadium. Dallas has 27 first downs. Philadelphia has 6. Dallas has had the ball 32 minutes, 35 seconds. The Eagles have had it 12:25. That's just about as lopsided as a score. Minutes of football left. 2nd and 7 for the Cowboys at the Eagles 13. Dorsett and Springs, the 2 running backs. Cowboys operate with their 2 tight end setup. Dupree on the left, Cosby on the right. The 1 wide receiver who is Butch Johnson. Here he comes in motion. White fake. Springs. Anthony Griggs made the stop. Dennis Harrison was in White's face and caused the hurry.
The Eagles had that one covered well. What Danny White was trying to do was run a bootleg and then option run or pass out here on the right side, and everything was covered. He couldn't run, and he really had no one to pass to.
Harvey Armstrong comes in place Ken Clark. Seattle 24, the Raiders 22. Third quarter.
Let's see on Danny White's left shoulder. That's for captain. Cowboys have 4 captains, Danny White being one of them.
White. It's Butch Johnson at about the 2. Just inside the 2.
Tom Landry told you not to give any of those reactions. You're not supposed to do that. That was just a little one. From the shotgun here. That's Danny White. He sees Butch Johnson over here to his right. Man-to-man. Hits him. Butch Johnson gets right down to about the 2-yard line. Now watch. Tom Landry said, I don't want any reactions this year. He'll think you're going to get there some more. Doesn't have any more. But he did have a reaction.
Yes.
At the end of it. He had one of those pistol deals.
Tom says if you do that, it looks like you don't expect to do it anymore. First and goal from the 2. Springs and Newsom were the backs. They throw outside to Newsom. Newsom comes up with the football and gets the Dallas touchdown. Bernard Wilson was out there with him. The ball was underthrown, and Newsom made the correct adjustment.
Newsom's at the outside. He's getting a big rush. He just throws that ball up. Newsom made a great recovery there.
He really did.
Adjusted to the ball in flight as Bernard Wilson watched the whole thing happen. Tried to do something about it.
Cowboys 36. Septien trying to make it 37. Out of the hold by Glenn Toronto. 9:24. They get the ball with that effort. Septien popped it right down the middle. 13:14 left to play at Texas Stadium. It's Dallas 37. The Philadelphia Eagles 7. Cowboys 37. Philadelphia 7. 13:14 left to play. Final quarter. Danny White 24 out of 36 for 266 yards, 2 interception. Deep in the end zone was Major Everett. Don't forget the NFL schedule for next week. Atlanta will be at Shea Stadium in New York, where John Madden and I will be. Chicago at Philadelphia. Detroit against Washington. The Lions all of a sudden playing very well. Minnesota against Green Bay. All those are early. 49ers against the Rams and New Orleans against Tampa Bay at 3:30 Eastern Time. It all begins with the NFL today. Ron Jaworski still the quarterback for Philadelphia. 13:08 left. 37-7 the Eagles trail. Cowboys trying to put the heat on Jaworski. He throws behind the intended receiver. Mike Quick. Brunig on the coverage.
This has been a tough day, really, for Ron Jaworski. As we see, he's 5 for 15, but in their 8 possessions, of course, they had 1 touchdown in their first possession, and they had 5 times they had a punt. The other 2, they had interceptions. Tough day.
Rough day. With the first pass he threw was an 83-yard touchdown strike to Mike Quick.
Good start to a bad day.
Jaworski back to throw. Here comes Harvey Martin around the corner. There's his target, Al Dixon, the backup tight end for 22 yards and an Eagle first down.
Let's watch Harvey Martin here. He's working against Stan Walters. It seems like those guys have been going against each other forever. That's a real battle. You see Stan just keeps pushing him, pushes him right out. John Dutton was the guy that got there. Tom Landry said Harvey Martin had his best game last week. He said, but he's still not Harvey.
Not the Harvey that he used to be. Saw the World Series score. Cowboys in their walking secondary. Jaworski gets it out to Williams. Williams gets into Cowboy territory, and with that last spin gets an Eagle first down.
I think as the year goes on, we're going to hear more and more about this Mike Williams here. He really has a flow about him. He can catch the ball, run, dart, so on. He's only a rookie. Last week was his first start, and that first start for a rookie's tough. You know, those eyes get fake, the stomach has stuff going on in there. Harry Campbell said, I told him it's just like Mississippi College playing Alcorn, but there's 70,000 people yelling at you in Giant Stadium. You can't believe that one. But he's going to be a good one.
He's a big guy, 217 pounds, 6'2". Jaworski back to throw. Oliver out to the right side, batted away by Too Tall Jones. With Benham.
The reason they call him too tall. He's too tall to throw over, too big to throw around. It's really tough for an offensive team to throw to their right because of that guy. I mean, sometimes he gets there, but even when he doesn't, he stops and jumps up, and it's hard to get that ball around him. You can't go through him.
No.
And you can't go over him.
So what option does that leave?
Under, maybe, or a lateral underneath through his legs.
The Eagles didn't have enough players on the field. And Jaworski takes a timeout, so they'll have 2 left. They trail Dallas by 30 points. Cowboys 37. The Eagles 7. Don't forget Saturday, October the 29th, the San Antonio Spurs against the Houston Rockets, and the debut of Ralph Sampson in the NBA against Artist Gilmore, 3:45 Eastern Time. It'll be interesting to see. Sampson's not a real, well, he's tall, of course, 7'4", but not that heavy, not that muscular looking. How he stands that hammering in the NBA.
He'll get a little hammering, and I bet he gets a lot of it early, too, won't he?
The indoctrination.
Oh, too tall. Good start. Holy. Too tall. That's the way to get off. He started that sprint up the field. He left a minute and a half before anyone else did. Watch, he gets into that thing, watches to the left. He said, I'm going. I don't care about the rest of you guys. Where's that quarterback? There you are. Hey, wait, hold on.
He almost took the snap.
He was trying to intercept the snap. He doesn't want Jaworski. He just wants the ball.
Encroachment, number 72.
That was real encroachment.
Oh, encroachment. That's offside. That was a tough one for the officials. It was awful close.
Looked like Jesse Owens rushing the pass.
Right up the field. He had that good trot going. Elbows in, hands out. Head up.
11:18 left to play. Jaworski intended for Carmichael, and Carmichael motioning as if he felt he was held, but no flag. 37-7, Cowboys ahead. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat, we've got 9:55 to go in Anaheim. The Rams are tied with the Falcons. Eric Dickerson has 2 touchdowns, 12 for the season. Let's go back to Pat and John.
37-7, Dallas leading Philadelphia here at Texas Stadium. 3rd down and 5. Jaworski operates one more time out of the shotgun. Guy Morris, the center. Smirrick and White, the tackles. Martin and Jones, the ends, and they are ready to go. Headed for Glenn Young. Cowboys all over Jaworski. Boy, he's earning his money today.
Oh, he is. And that's something Glenn Young will learn. You know, he's only a rookie, but when you look in and you see those safeties and that all-out blitz coming, you have to run your pattern a little quicker and look a little sooner. Because the quarterback, you know he's not going to have the time.
Tom Spladany back to punt. Rod Hill back deep. Not that deep. Right at the corner, it bounces into the end zone. 41-yard punt. 41 yards in net. We'll return to Texas Stadium after this word from your local station. With the encouragement of Drew Pearson and Butch Johnson waving their arms, this Cowboy crowd has come to its feet.
It all started in a huddle, and Drew Pearson started firing the crowd up, and Butch did. They were leading cheers. They were in a huddle. The offensive linemen didn't look at all. They didn't even look up.
They know they've still got to go to Philadelphia. Pearson in motion. That's Ron Springs off the left side for about 3. Greg Brown made the stop. In the World Series, it is the Orioles 5. The Phillies nothing. 5 runs, 4 hits for the Orioles. They somehow are able to get it done. There's what caused the crowd to be up.
Look at him, but look at those offensive linemen, though. Doug Crosby saying, I'm going to save my energy. The linemen who are just standing there kind of hunched over.
Yeah.
They have to block every play. They can't.
Every play.
They can't lead cheers. They can't lift their arms.
This is Dorsett. He is taken out of bounds short of a first down by Dennis Devon. For an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat Leon Bright fumbled a punt for the New York Giants. The Chiefs recovered, and then Bill Kinney pulled out and went to Henry Marshall. Touchdown, Chiefs, and now they're starting to pull away from the Giants, 31-17. Back to Pat and John.
Tell you what, John, those Chiefs have started to become a very formidable passing team.
They are, and the Giants, they're probably shell-shocked.
After they lost to the Eagles last week and now being bombarded by this one. Shotgun for White. Incomplete. No flag. For the first time in a long time, we'll see John Warren, the Cowboys punter. They had the ball so much they haven't had to punt.
John Warren was the backup punter the last 2 years at the University of Tennessee. He was their poocher. He'd come in and punt once they got inside the 50. Tom Landry's been working with him lately here.
Right. Tom was a great punter, of course.
Tom was working what, in his drop, was he saying?
Yes. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be known as a poocher.
How's your pooching? Oh, I'm pooching pretty good.
Rafferty, the snapper. Good snapper. Tom's work paid off. Good kick by Warren. Chases Glenn Young way back to his own 24. He breaks a couple of tackles. Gets out to about the 37 where the Eagles will take over. Mike Walder is the man down to make the stop. 50-yard punt, 11-yard return, 39 yards in net, and that's acceptable. Next Saturday begins with the NCAA today, and then Texas with awesome-looking Longhorns against SMU. They don't like each other at all. They're both 5-0.
Boy, Texas sure looked good yesterday, didn't they? Darn near looked unbeatable.
I didn't like it too much, but you're right.
Watch this John Warren. Now, here's the punter. Now, here's what a poocher does when he has to take on a block. You aren't going to block me. I'll turn my back. Now go again.
And then I'll look back and see who you were.
He just stopped and turned around.
Joe Pisarcik is now the Eagle quarterback. Harry Harrington in the backfield. Pisarcik down the middle to Williams. Good catch. He's hit by Dennis Thurman and cut down hard, but held on. 15-yard gain. Yes, I think you're right. That's the guy we'll hear from as the year passes and as the years pass.
Well, you know, their number one draft choice this year was Michael Haddix. And he's had some fumbling problems, and so they started Mike Williams in his place. Haddix didn't even play at all last week. And, of course, the reason they're playing at all is because Wilbert Montgomery's not there, and he'll be out for 4 more weeks.
Here's Pisarcik. Back to throw. Intended for Mike Quick, who couldn't quite come up with a handle.
I'll tell you, this is tough for a quarterback when you come in and the score is 37-7. And, you know, and what was that old line that one quarterback said? He said, what do you want me to do, Coach, win it or tie it?
That was Dan Pastorini, at whom you were just looking, the other Eagle quarterback.
Maybe he was the guy that said that.
Yep. He's been in that situation, I know, a lot of times. Harry Harrington and Major Everett in the Eagle backfield. Here comes that all-out Cowboys blitz, and there goes Pisarcik down by Bill Bates.
I'll tell you, they love Bill Bates here, don't they? Watch him. He's going to come right up the middle. You see, he started in the back, and he came up the middle. The other guys were blocked, and he ran right around the blocks, through the traffic, and right into Joe Pisarcik. He started to celebrate there and then said, no, I play for the Cowboys. I can't do that.
He's serious about this game. 37-7, Dallas leading with 8:55 left to play in the game. Pisarcik gets a low snap, falls on it. Or did he find it? Yes, he did. Randy White was there. Harvey Martin was there. Here comes Spladini again. The World Series continues to be the same thing. 5-0 Orioles over the Phillies. Now they're through 6. Orioles have only 4 hits, but 5 runs. Rod Hill back deep for the Cowboys at their 25. At the 20.
See if he gets out of bounds again.
Going to get more than out of bounds out of this one. He gained a yard. 2 yards.
I'll tell you, Rod Hill will hear about that. Coaches don't like to see that. Well, that's the thing. In the NFL, you can't return a punt down. You have to get it and get it going upfield. I'll guarantee you Tom doesn't like that.
Too much dancing. 27-7. Hey, look at this, John.
There's something that you don't see very often. Tom Landry smiling. I think Butch Johnson made him smile. I think Butch Johnson said something. Even Tom had a chuckle at that one.
Gary Hogeboom is the Dallas quarterback, but he can throw it. Close set behind the line of scrimmage by Ray Ellis. Loss of 1 or 2.
I was saying earlier, the Cowboys are the type of team that they really don't take it easy on Dorsett. But now may be the time to do it, though. I mean, you have the lead. You're in the fourth quarter. You have your backup quarterback in there. And I always think at that time you get the big guys out.
I think there he goes right there.
Yeah, he may be leaving right now.
Newsom just came in. You saw him maybe glance back at the bench a little bit like, hey, wait a minute.
Enough's enough. He said, look, I got a bad wrist. I got bad ribs. I got a bad thigh. Let me just sit down a minute.
I know what a 100-yard game is about. Here's Hogeboom back to throw. Great delivery he has. Conway out to the 40. Anthony Griggs made the tackle. 23-yard gain. Hogeboom can really throw it.
He can throw it, and usually when the backup quarterback comes in, he usually throws to a backup end. And that's because when he practices mostly with those guys. I'm sure that Hogeboom has thrown a lot more passes to Doug Donnelly than he has to a Tony Hill or a Drew Pearson or a Butch Johnson or a Doug Cosby. You always go in there and look for your favorite guys.
There's Danny White. Cowboys are 26-2, going on 27-2 since he became the starting quarterback here at Texas Stadium. Here's Jimmy Newsom out close to midfield. Anthony Griggs picked him up. Bernard Wilson some help. Ron Jaworski, who had a tough day. He was 7 out of 20 for 172 yards. One of those was an 83-yard touchdown pass on the first play of the game to Mike Quick. Without that, and even with that.
And that's the guy that was talking to there. He was talking to Mike Quick and saying, look, you know, it's only your second year. We'll have these types of days, but the important thing right now is what we do next week.
And off to Newsom over left side, maybe a yard. Here's the way the NFC East looks as the day began. The Cowboys would appear to be 7-0. Washington tomorrow night. Philadelphia 4-3. The Giants losing would be 2-5. St. Louis 1. They are already 2-5.
That's going to be an interesting battle, that Cowboy-Redskin thing. I think that's one of those deals that's going to go right down to the final weeks.
3rd and 2. Hogeboom not from the shotgun up under the center. Sends Crosby in motion, gives to Ron Springs. Springs dives for the first down. Let's check out the rest of the standings in the NFC. That is up to date now. Minnesota has won. They're 5-2. Green Bay 3-3. They play the Redskins tomorrow night. Detroit 3-4. They're playing better and better. Chicago 2-5, and Tampa Bay in trouble, I think.
Oh boy.
Western Division is something else now. San Francisco 5-2. The Rams 4-2 and still playing. New Orleans 4-3 and very respectable. And Atlanta playing the Rams. Still involved. Here is Pastorini warming up. The World Series now, they're in the 7th inning, and it's still 5-0. The Orioles over the Phillies.
Bad day for pro sports in Philadelphia. We were talking about, you know, the life of a nose tackle earlier. Let's just see what it's like towards the end of the game when you're behind. Here he is. He takes on the center's block. There comes another offensive lineman. Then the center comes back and gets him again. A guy comes, he gets him from behind. Look, they got him in, you know, like those things in the fun house you used to go in, where you go in the circles and they just keep bumping you around. They had them all circled around there. 3 guys. Man, that's too much. You ought to get 2 pregame meals when they do that to you.
That doesn't look like any fun house. 2nd and 6. Handoff was to Springs. Is to Springs. He stays on his feet, gets around the corner. 3 different offensive linemen in the middle of the Dallas offensive setup. I'll tell you about them in the middle in a minute. But let's look at the AFC now. The East, Buffalo 5-2, Baltimore 4-3, Miami 4-3, the Jets. Many people say they have the best talent there is, but they're 3-4 nevertheless. In New England 3-4. Central, Pittsburgh 5-2, Cleveland 4-3, Cincinnati 1-5, Houston and Tampa in their own bracket. And in the Western Division, the Raiders continue to roll. Denver 3-3, San Diego 3-4, Seattle 3-3, Kansas City 2-4, and some of that action still going on. Here's Newsom. Someone said Newsom runs like Franco Harris, and he does have that long stride, a little bit like Franco.
Well, the thing is, you know, he's a long-legged guy, so he has to take long strides and then, you know, take that type of thing the way Franco does. As I tell you, these fans want more. It's 4th down. They want to go for it. Tom Landry says, okay, what the heck? Let's get some more offensive practice in here.
They leave the clock running with 2:45 left to play. Dorsett 19 carries, 92 yards. Springs 17 for 63 and Newsom 9 for 55. They got that offense geared up today. Springs. If he had cut up the field, I think he got it. I don't know if he did.
That's what you have to do. I don't care if it's in the 4th quarter or not. When you get outside there and it's short yardage, all you have to do is turn the ball up the field. He tried to bounce out one more time, and you don't have to do that in short yardage. That gives the Eagles the ball, 1st and 10.
2:24 left to play. The Eagles will take over on their own 38-yard line with, let's see who's the quarterback. It's Pastorini now. So let's see what Dan can do. 2:24 left to play. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Eagles by 30 points. Tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, Alice one day at a time, the Jeffersons, Goodnight, Beantown, and Trapper John M.D. Always a great Sunday evening. Checking just how long the Cowboys have had the ball today. 41 minutes to 16 as far as minutes. 83 plays the Cowboys have run to 37 for Philadelphia. Dan Pastorini is now the Eagle quarterback. Pressure's on him. Overthrows Major Everett. Jim Shepko applied the pressure. He and Larry Bethea. Smirrick. Total different bunch on defense now for Dallas.
And Pastorini, because it's been a long time since he's played. He starts off in the shotgun, just shrugs one off, throws it out there. I think Major Everett should have had that one.
Clock stopped with 2:18 left to play. The ball's at the Eagles 38, Dallas 37, Philadelphia 7. Going deep. Intended for Al Dixon. Back on defense. Dexter Clinkscale, Michael Downs, Dennis Thurman.
I think that's one Dan Pastorini just threw up there because he knew he wasn't going to get anything. You can't get anything to the post if the safety's sitting in there, and he threw it right up there. Well, I know where Mercedes, Texas is, and I know who the Dallas Cowboys and CBS Sports are. But I don't know who that guy on the bottom is.
Well, that's our very astute and very capable and very loyal producer, Bob Stinner.
You do know?
Yeah, I knew he was.
Yeah, he's great.
I didn't know where Mercedes was.
I knew Mercedes. Of course, I know Bob Stinner.
Pastorini going deep. Emerson Wall back with Glenn Young. Still 5-0 at the end of 7 in the World Series. Philly's got another hit, so both teams have 4 hits now. But Baltimore has the 5 runs. They look headed under Joe Altobelli for their first title in a long time. 1970, I think it goes back to. Splatini back to punt. Dallas with 10 men up. Rod Hill back at the 25. Splatini. Busy day. This one doesn't tip over. Hill handle. He helped out with the net.
I guess I was wrong. I guess there was no coach that talked to him on the sideline there, because Rod Hill came right back and did the same thing again. Started going backwards and losing yardage.
Tom Landry said yesterday how much he'd improved as a punt returner, and he is exciting. There's no question about that. 37-7. Cowboys lead. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium. Dallas 37, Philadelphia 7. 1:54 left to play. The Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. Dallas has all of theirs. Dallas operates from their own 20. Gary Hogaboom, the Cowboy quarterback, with runs, Springs the lone setback. Handoff Springs. Nope, beg your pardon, Newton, as he spins away. Don't forget, following football comes up the all-new 60 minutes. Clock still runs. The Eagles won't take any timeouts, and I know the Cowboys won't at this particular time after they lead by 30 points. Gary Hogaboom.
You know, I'm sure that with this victory today, that Tom Landry will be happy with his consistency in his offense. And there's one other thing that he worries about. He says, you know, sometimes if you win all the time, you don't really have the urgency to improve. The urgency that's only helped by a loss. I'm sure he doesn't want to lose one to get that help, but he has a tough game coming up next week against the Raiders.
The Raiders here next Sunday night. This would be the Cowboys' best start since 1977. When they last won the Super Bowl.
And of course, when you can do this to a team in your division, you know that you have to play again up there. I think it's a psychological advantage to your team, and if they can get the Eagles the next time, they can make a 2-team race out of this division.
Well, I know that is the way that Marion Campbell feels about the situation. You've got to win against teams in your own division. Here's Hogaboom back to throw. John Lee again at the Dallas first down at the 45. Cowboys with that move over 500 yards on offense for the day, and that would satisfy everybody. Cowboy player injured on that last play. Looks like, well, I can't tell. Herbert Scott. 15 seconds left to play. What a time to get hurt. Dallas leading by 30. It was Herbert Scott who was injured on the play, but there is Herbert Scott over on the sideline now. He seems to be okay. Dallas has made 32 first downs. That ties a club record. The 4th time they've done that. 2nd time against the Eagles. There it goes. Cowboys win 37-7 over the Philadelphia Eagles and remain unbeaten with their record of 7-0. Very, very formidable offensive performance, John. There's Tony Dorsett.
I'm saying word number 1, and you know they had been 6-0, but they've taken a little heat for the way they did it. But I'm sure they won't take any heat for today.
Pat Summerall and John Madden here, 37-7 the final. Let's go to Anaheim.